Hello, and welcome back to the Golden Age of DC Comics 365 Days, where I am taking this well-loved, well-worn coffee table book that I received from one of my best friends almost 2 decades ago, and which has been surfing my coffee tables ever since. I'm going to use this book for its intended purpose, and I'm going to read a page a day. Yes, today's date, today's subject, and today's topic of conversation about comic books. If you love comic books as much as I do, you have tuned into the right channel at the right place and the right time. So let's crack open this book and see where we are today. It is April 16th, and we have an old friend of mine to talk about. Before that, let's just say that the golden age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. That's the first appearance of Superman in Action Comics #1, ushering in the superhero era, that we still enjoy today. Before the appearance of Superman, we had, going back to 1921, you had Gasoline Alley, then you had things like Little Abner, and then 1924, you had Little Orphan Annie. In 1931, you had The Shadow and Dick Tracy. And these were newspaper prints. Those were the big leagues. I mean, comic books were kind of thought derisively, such as they were the junior leagues because they weren't in a big newspaper syndication. I mean, there was competition, and did competition make the stories better? I don't know. But let's crack open this book. The Silver Age of comics starts in 1956 and lasts until 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby, runs from 1970 to 1985. And the wikis say that the current age of comics lasts from 1985 until now. I kind of don't believe that, especially with the Bronze and Silver Ages being about 15 years each. Shouldn't there be one age from 85 to 2000? And another age from 2000 to 2015, because there has been some kind of change in comics, and I legitimately feel as though we're in a new era. So what era are we in now? What era did we just, pass through? I'd like to know, and I'd like to know what you think. So leave it in the comments section. We can talk about it. We can have a live stream and talk together. Hit me up. But today is April the 16th, and we're talking about Plastic Man. Eddie Eel O'Brien, former crook, given fantastic powers, and it was an offbeat character with a sense of humor. But it came from a darker place of gangsters trying to reform themselves. So let's look at the page, which includes 4 panels of sequential art, including gutters, clean gutters with no overlap. So it's a picture of the interior of an individual issue. So just take a look at it. And as always, I will read the dialogue bubbles in character. "Oh, probably my laundryman." And the policeman says, "Laundryman? I wonder what he sends to the laundry." I'll put it in the Irish accent for the Irish cop stereotype of its day. "Plaz, something awful's happened. I just heard it on the radio in Skelly's." And that's Woozy Winks, his faithful best friend and sidekick, who's always getting into trouble. And Plaz is always helping out. "Tell me about it later. You've got to get out of here." And remember, I think Woozy is still a small-time gangster getting into small-time trouble at this time. So his superhero friend is, covering for him and helping him out. "Hey, come on back here. Where are you going and why?" "Any place to get away from those cops for a while." And that's Plastic Man, known by his goggles, his superpowers of being able to elongate his body and make it into basically any kind of form. And let's read the blurb, and then we're going to get into it, as we say here, and talk about some comic books. And let's check out this blurb. It's April the 16th. I hope you're having an awesome day. And if you're having a bad day, you have the power to stop your bad day with some simple emotional skill set tools that I earned myself. So look at my gratitude list playlist if you're having a bad day, and hopefully you can learn this skill too. These superpowers, these mind bullets to shoot down the chronic angries, the chronic lonelies, and the chronic mopies. Yes, you can have this superpower too. I will share this my magic word with you. Shazam! Alrighty. Well, this is story and art by Jack Cole from Plastic Man #3, published in the spring of 1946. And here we go. Woozy Winks, the comical sidekick who began his career as a pickpocket, is in trouble with the law again, and it's up to Plastic Man to get him out of it. After all, the stretchable sleuth started out as a criminal himself, and only reformed after the accident that gave him strange powers. One-way artist Jack Cole can... One-way? One-way artist. No, it's one-way artist Jack Cole convey the impression of great flexibility involves stretching his hero's actions across time and space through their placement on a page. These panels are just part of a sequence of 5 in which Plastic Man extends himself through a door into another room, through another door, out of the building, and onto the building's roof. Even Woozy, who is not made of plastic, gets caught up in the distortion and actually looks skinny for the first time in his life. Hey, problematic, no fat shaming. Alrighty. Well, yeah, Plastic Man. I grew up with Plastic Man. I'll tell you why. Let's look at Plastic Man real quick. I'll give you a quick rundown on its history. Plastic Man's real name is Patrick Eel O'Brien. Is a fictional superhero appearing in Police Comics #1, originally published by Quality Comics. Quality Comics, we will know, had Black Hawk, G.I. Combat, and the Spirit. So let's see, and he's Plastic Man's pretty much runs until today, but that Police Comics #1 premiered in August of 1941, shortly before the United States entered World War II. And let's see, Quality Comics was bought by DC Comics, I believe in the mid-50s. Let's just get this, is 1960s. DC revived other quality characters. Plastic Man had starred in several short-lived series starting in 1966 and went on to become a Justice League member in the 1990s. Yeah, the Grant Morrison use of Plastic Man and his Justice League was amazing. But I remember Plastic Man from being a kid. There was on ABC Television, American Broadcast Company, from 1979 to 1981, was the Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show that had it was a superhero and adventure style of cartoon variety show, and it came on after Super Friends. Super Friends ran from what, like 74 to 85 or something like that. Let's look it up real quick. It's right, should be right here. It was shown right after the Super Friends. Yeah, Super Friends was 73 through 86. Yeah, that's 13 years. And that's basically the entirety of my infancy through to becoming a preteen. And that the Super Friends were there every Saturday morning. And a huge part of this guy's life. But also, in the second season, they introduced Baby Plaz, the baby version, because, kids sell. And he had, who was his friends there? There was the unfortunate, named Hula Hula, who is his Hawaiian sidekick, a Woozy Winks, but of a different, place and time. And then there was, what was that? His girlfriend. He had a girlfriend, Penny, and Penny, got married to him in season 2, and then that was cute, and that was nice to see, couples. I hope they bring Penny back into the comic books. And as I said, Plastic Man was big in the Justice League of Grant Morrison in the mid to late 90s. And more recently, in the DC Rebirth era, was part of this really awesome idea that got canceled already. It was called the Terrifics. It was Mr. Terrific, and it was Plastic Man. Let's look it up real quick. The Terrifics. It was, and it had Metamorpho and Phantom Girl. And they joined forces to escape the dark multiverse. And it was like, I think it was trying to bank on the popularity of Disney Pixar's The Incredibles. So they all had like new uniforms that looked like their traditional outfit, but were in the color scheme of their team. And they had a team name, and that's very Marvel to do, kind of like the Defenders or the New Fantastic Four. But, oh gosh, I wish I was reading DC Comics at the time. That's something. I heard a lot of good buzz. A couple of really good DC Comics post-Rebirth, in Rebirth. The Rebirth era was Tomasi's Superman. I got a couple of issues of that because it tied into Multiversity. I love Multiverse Superman. And the Terrifics and the Super Sons, when you had like the 11-year-old Damian Wayne Robin hanging out with the 8-year-old Superboy Jonathan Kent. And oh man, just like those were good fun superhero stories that just appeals to everyone. And I hope and pray and that comic books can find that vibe once again. Yeah. And that's why for me it's good to be checking out the golden age of comics and seeing what the past has to offer and compare it to today, and to have this old-fashioned comic book shop talk, right here with us right now. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's been the golden age at DC Comics, 365 days, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we're going to talk comic books, and we'll figure out who and what we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you could be so kind. I'm an ordained minister, an amateur theologian. We get spiritual here and talk about gratitude a lot. Look at my playlist, the gratitude lists, and you can get my spiritual content there. I'm a professional chef. I offer you restaurant-level cooking hacks so you can make nutritious, delicious, and beautiful food to share with your loved ones at your table. Tune in to the What's Cooking playlist, and hopefully one day I can earn your subscription. And I make daily content. We talk about comic books every day. So God bless, namaste, good luck, and you know what? Hopefully see you tomorrow. Cheers.